Tonight's big stories. The Agriculture Department is looking at testing the quality of NFA rice stocks. That's after Senator Rafi alleged that stocks of good quality rice are being declared bad so it can be sold off.
The Senate has issued a show cause order against embattled church leader Apollo Kiboy, directing him to explain why he should not be arrested for failing to attend Senate investigations. Now, in the lower house, the controversial spiritual leader has also been cited in contempt.
And a new ride-hailing app is set to introduce themselves to the commuting public. We'll know more about this app as we speak with PeekUp CEO and founder Dave Almarinez later on in the show. Welcome to The Big Story. I'm Gretchen Ho.
And I'm Riza Diaz.
Well, kicking off tonight's broadcast with the Agriculture Department recommending an independent laboratory to test the quality of NFA rice. Now, this follows information revealed by Senator Rafi that good quality NFA rice is declared to be of bad quality, so they can be sold off to certain private millers. In his privileged speech at the Senate on Monday, Tulfo explained how good inventory of rice are passed off as bad to drive down their prices.
Una po, nakakabili sila ng palay sa mababang halaga na 24 pesos at may dagdag na 2 pesos subsidy from the LGU bilang bahagi ng Palay Marketing Assistance Program for Legislators and Local Government Units o POLGO. So, nakukuha po ng NFA ang palay sa halagang 26 pesos. Tapos, ito po ipagigiling nila and they will pay it in kind or with rice mill products.
Well, how exactly does this modus work? Well, based on Tulfo's investigation, the NFA's Office of the Administrator allegedly scours for rice stocks that they can sell. The office will then ask for the laboratory analysis report to declare the rice stocks to be of poor quality so they can be sold to traders. Tulfo says some officials will jack up the price of these stocks, but they will declare that the supply was sold at a low price due to their supposed bad quality.
At pag nagkasarahan na, they will issue rice sales to the millers gamit ang mga lab report na nagsasabing not fit for human consumption kuno upang mapababa ang presyo ng mga ito.
So, Riza, what we're dealing here is actually an amount of 75,000 bags of rice worth 93.75 million na sinasabi nga nila is passed off as bad rice or aging rice sold at 25 pesos a kilo to traders. But ang tanong kanina sa hearing, bakit hindi nagkaroon ng bidding?
Correct. Well,
ang sabi kasi ni NFA administrator, aging rice is a function of disposing it.
Right.
That's why
it doesn't have to undergo.
Yes, it's exempted from public bidding. Pero ang tanong naman nila, bakit hindi government agency ang naging priority ng pagbibigay or pag-disburse ng rice na ito, pagbebenta?
Yung pag-dispose nito, but instead it went to the private rice millers. From what we understand, again, merong parang ang dating, parang there's a misdeclaration already of the quality of rice to be able to dispose it. And then, ayun nga, parang, according to those investigation, especially of Senator Rafi Tulfo, may mga nakinabang. What's worse, Gretchen, is they're finding out that there are areas, LGUs, that are badly needing of these NFA rice na nawala ng supply, just like our kababayans in Isabela. So, from what we know, we understand, Isabela, LGU requested for around 10,000 sacks of rice from NFA, but apparently what they only got was around 3,000.
At hindi lang Isabela, pati ang DSWD mismo, na-reject sila. According to Representative Mark and Verga of Quezon Province, the DSWD request was also rejected. And Senator Tulfo expressed his frustration over that. Let's listen in.
Grabe ng garapalan sa NFA. Imagine, nagbebenta ng 150,000 bags of good rice, tapos yung mga nangailangan na ahensya, tinitipid nila.
With this, the Agriculture Department is now planning to include Senator Tulfo's report to their internal audit. They're also studying the establishment of an independent laboratory to test the quality of NFA rice.
There could be ways, for example, an independent laboratory to do the analysis at hindi na NFA, diba? Para mas maging independent. But that will be part of future recommendations later.
Well, the Department of Agriculture says they will also look into this, whether the NFA is following its mandate. But as of today, the Office of the Ombudsman has issued a preventive suspension for 139 officials of the NFA. Actually, that number went up to 141 plus 2. Today, they have now been suspended due to this anomalous rice sale. And here to share with us their take on Senator Tulfo's revelations, we have with us on the show Jayson Cainglet, Executive Director of Agriculture Group SINAG or di Samahang Industriya ng Agrikultura. Magandang gabi po.
Magandang gabi po sa kanila at sa lahat ng nanonood ng kanilang program.
Okay, Jayson, itong pagbunyag ng modus na nangyayari sa NFA, ay ikaw ba ay nagulat o matagal mo nang nalalaman na may ganitong klaseng kalakaran?
Hindi tayo nagulat dahil it's an open secret. Kaya lang what is really, kumbaga, nakakagalit ay yung nangyari ngayon, sabi nyo nga kanina, walang bidding. Binigay yung bigas sa mga piniling traders. Yun ang ating first question. Bakit pinili? Tapos secondly, kung sinasabi nilang aging yung bigas o nabubulok, bakit siya bibili ng trader? Kung ikaw ay negosyante, bakit ka magpapalugi kung alam mong wala kang kikitain? So, obviously, hindi siya aging. That is established. Pangatlo po, we must understand, yung binili ng NFA was 23 pesos palay. Binenta po nila 25 pesos bigas. Ibig sabihin, mayroon pong diferensya na 2 pesos. Nandun po yung pagkalugi ng government kasi hindi mo naman magigiling yung palay para maging bigas sa halagang 2 piso lang. Ang industry estimate po, nalugi ang government natin ng 14 pesos per kilo by selling the rice at 25, na kinuha na ng 23. Kasi 2 pesos yung markup eh. Wala pong ganun sa, kahit sa mga maunlad na bansa, they cannot sell yung rice na 2 piso lang ang markup mula sa pagiging palay, para maging bigas 2 pesos. So, yung sinasabi nating 150,000 bags is equivalent to almost 100 million pesos ang pagkalugi sa government. Now, if we look at the data, sabi nila aabot ng 1 million bags, that is easily around 600, 700 million pesos po. Ang nalugi ng gobyerno at ang nakinabang yung private. Kasi yung private, they bought the rice at 25 pesos per kilo, pero binenta po ng 52. Ibig sabihin, walang kahirap-hirap itong mga trader. They got it at 25, binenta ng 52. Kumbaga, meron tayong kasabihan, tubong lugaw. So po, sobra-sobra sa lugaw ang tinubo. Talagang kumita sila. Pero yun nga, at the expense of yung government po, tayong nalugi, ibig na makinabang yung mahihirap, ang nakinabang po, etong mga private traders.
Jayson, ang alam natin, meron palang mga classifications sa kumbaga, as we see the NFA rice, from excellent to very good, fair, and then poor of quality. Ang mungkahi ng Department of Agriculture, they're suggesting to create an independent laboratory to test itong quality of NFA rice. Do you think that's going to at least help solve these issues and these problems?
Opo, in the long run, makakatulong po siya sa future. Pero ngayon kasi, kung sinasabi nila na yung bigas ay hindi makakain, aging stocks, hindi po siya bibili ng trader. Kasi, bakit ka magpapalugi? In fact, yung trader, inamin na niya sa hearing sa Congress last week, taga Bulacan siya, pero they source the rice mula po sa as far as Bicol, Mindoro, Pangasinan, Ilocos. Kaya magtataka ka bakit ang kinuha yung taga Bulacan, pero marami namang millers or traders in Bicol, in Mindoro, lalo na Pangasinan and Nueva Ecija. Nueva Ecija and Pangasinan, sila po yung ating talagang nagtatanim ng bigas sa buong Pilipinas. Bakit hindi kumuha sa Nueva Ecija or sa Pangasinan? Bakit ang kinuha sa Bulacan? Kaya po, yung hearing natin, sabi natin, it raises more questions than answers. Talagang hindi lang siya legality kasi they can justify na it is within their mandate, mag-dispose, hindi kailangan ng bidding. Pero yung perspective po na nagpalugi ka, ikaw ang gobyerno, pinalugi mo yung gobyerno natin, binenta mo ng palugi yung bigas, dapat pinibigay mo lang sa DSWD. Sabi nyo nga kanina, may mga nag-request po, yung Isabela nag-request, yung DSWD, they requested 100,000 bags noong August last year, pero ni-reject ng NFA. So kung totoong marami tayong bigas na nabubulok at aging, bakit yung kailangan ng mga ahensya ng government, ni-reject mo? And instead, inantay mo yung panahon na you can claim na it is aging para po ibenta sa private traders. Yun po yung mga issues talaga na hindi natin talaga kayang tanggapin po. They can hide sa mga legalities, pero yun po, luging-lugi gobyerno, nalugi farmer, nalugi gobyerno, nalugi consumer, kasi hindi mo ba ang bigas eh. Maraming bigas ang NFA, pero commercial rice po siya binenta. Hindi na pakinabangan ng mga mamamayan po nating nangangailangan talaga ng mga bigas sa mga panahon ng emergency o ng mga sakuna.
Wait, Jayson, let's go through the production chain. How many days does it take for the authorities to classify rice as aging?
Pagpalay kasi, ang sinasabi nila 3 months palay, 6 months bigas. Ang sinasabi natin, with the technology, hindi naman siya kailangang 3 months or 4 months or even 3 months po. Masyadong matagal ng 3 months na palay para mabulokan ka ng palay. Masyadong matagal ng 6 months na bigas siya para mabulokan ka ng bigas. Kasi ang trabaho na po ng NFA, unang-una, hindi na siya nag-import. Pangalawa, hindi na siya nagbebenta as a retailer. Wala nang NFA rice na mga retailers. Ang trabaho ng NFA is buffer stocking. Ibig sabihin po ng buffer stocking, dapat meron siyang bigas equivalent to 6 days or 9 days. At any given time, kung may sakuna, may baha, may lindol, kung ano mang mga emergency situations, meron po makukuha yung gobyerno natin para ibigay sa mga kababayan natin na nangangailangan ng bigas on an emergency situation. Hindi ka po mabubulakan ng ganun kasi marami po tayong ang bumibili po ng NFA rice, we must remember, yan, meron sa 4Ps, may grant, may DSWD, yung atin po mga kasama sa BJMP, tsaka sa mga corrections, lahat po yan, they source yung kanilang bigas from NFA kasi nga kung malulugi ka na, masisira ka na, yun po yung mga ahensya natin na bebentahan mo.
Kumbaga first in, first out.
Ito pong issue na to, hindi dapat talaga nakaproblema. Kung talagang binigay nila sa DSWD or Bureau of Corrections or BJMP, wala po dapat issue eh. Pero instead na dun ibigay, binenta pa sa private trader, yun po talaga ang punot dulo ng usaping ito.
Okay, Jayson, tapos itong nabanggit nga ni Senator Tulfo, 26 pesos ang halaga nung palay na binibili mula doon sa magsasaka. Pero binabayaran ito in kind or in rice mill products. Ano po yun? So hindi cash po ang binibigay sa magsasaka. Tama po ba?
Cash and in kind. Pero ang kailangan natin maintindihan, bumili ang NFA ng palay. So 23 siya or 26, yun ang benta niya. Pero yun ang kanyang bili sa farmer. Kasi nga po, you buy high sa farmer and you sell low. Yun ang trabaho ng NFA or you sell low to government, mura. Ang problema talaga natin, binili mo siya either 23 or 26, pero yung documents that we got, binenta niya sa private trader at 25. So talagang lugi yung gobyerno kasi hindi mo naman mamimil yung bigas, yung palay, at 2 pesos per kilo. You would spend, kasi may labor cost yan, yung pagigiling, may electricity cost ka, meron ka pang bagging, meron ka pang handling, mabayaran mo yung sako para doon po ilagay yung bigas. It
Sir
would cost
Jayson,
at least 14 pesos po ang markup from 23. Ibig po sabihin, kung 23 mo siya binili, plus 14 pesos is 37 pesos. Ang problema natin, imbis na ibenta siya sa 37 pesos, binenta siya at 25 pesos. Palugi ang pagbenta po. Nalugi ang gobyerno, ang nakinabang, yung private trader po.
Jayson, as of today, there are already 141 officials of the NFA that are suspended. It's a question of how are they supposed to continue functioning given, this mass suspension. Anong future nakikita ng grupo ninyo sa NFA? And what do you think should be done para maiwasan, we could prevent these anomalies?
Ang tingin po natin una-una, hindi naman yung lahat ng 141 ay involved. Marami dyan sumunod lang sa utos sa central office. These are mainly yung mga supervisors sa warehouse, mga managers, and alam natin yung mga yan ay sumusunod lang po anong inutos sa kanila. So, we are also hoping na matrim down yan ng ombudsman para hindi naman po kawawa itong mga nadamay na wala namang kinalaman. As of now, sabi nga natin, anihan ngayon, may guarantee naman ang ating DA na NFA will function doon sa kanyang pagbili ng palay sa mga farmers. Actually, we commend yung DA ngayon kasi kung ibang sekretary ng DA ngayon, baka nagdili-dali pa eh. Pero yung ngayon po, we are commending them for acting swiftly. Bago po maglabas ang ombudsman ng suspension order, pinag-leave na ng DA secretary yung mga involved. Sabi niya, mag-leave muna kayo para open, transparent yung mga gagawin nilang audit and investigation. So, as far as yung function ng NFA ngayon, tingin natin hindi naman po siya mapaparalyze. Pero yun nga, eventually, looking forward, kailangan talaga nating ma-define ano ba talaga dapat yung ginagawa ng NFA sa panahon na ikaw ay buffer stocking na lang at sinisiguro mo na may bigas, yung mga tatamaan ng mga kalamidad at may bigas ang gobyerno sa panahon po ng mga iba't ibang sakuna, given itong mga climate change or extreme weather situations, talagang maya po merong emergency sa atin. Mapabaha, mapatagtuyot, etc.
Well, Jayson, you mentioned the pros and cons of this agency. They're supposed to buy high, sell low. They're supposed to have the buffer stocks. It is already performing with a reduced role. Does your group still believe that the NFA should be abolished, or do you now think that they are still a very relevant agency? We just need to do some cleansing, quote unquote.
Unang-una, malaki po kasi yung kawani ng NFA, 2,000 plus employees. Kaya mahirap po natin silang sabihin nating i-abolish. Kailangan nating isipin anong gagawin natin sa 2,000 plus employees na wala namang kinalaman sa kalokohan ng ilang kanilang mga kaopisina, or very few elements naman na involved doon, hindi naman kalakhan ng NFA. Secondly, yun nga po, kailangan i-thresh out, i-define yung function niya as buffer stock. Kumukuha ka ng buffer stock para at any given time, meron po ang government natin na pangbigay sa ating mamamayan o mga nangangailangan LGUs, etc. Kailangan lang po siguro ayusin. Hindi siya kailangan buwagin kasi may role naman po talaga ang NFA as far as public good is concerned.
Kumbaga sila dapat ang naglalagay ng ng oil in the production supply or the grease to make everything smoother from supply and demand. Maraming salamat. Thank you so much for weighing in on with us in this recent issues with the National Food Authority. That was Jayson Cainglet, Executive Director of Agriculture Group, SINAG. Well, in other news, President Marcos is in for back-to-back working engagements today in Berlin. The president arrived in Brandenburg International Airport around 5 a.m. Philippine time. He and First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos were welcomed by Philippine Ambassador to Germany Irene Natividad and select personnel from the Philippine Embassy in Berlin. First on the president's agenda is the meeting with German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, wherein possible partnerships in renewable energy, among other industries, were likely discussed. Well, President Marcos is expected to answer some questions in a press conference happening anytime now, after which he is expected to meet with German business leaders. President Marcos earlier expressed hopes of tapping Germany in developing the Philippines' manufacturing, healthcare, agriculture, and IT sectors. After that, he will be meeting with the Filipino community in Berlin. Now expected to be signed are deals on maritime cooperation and vocational training between TESDA and its German counterpart agency. And Riza, we actually had
last night. We also had UP Asian Center senior lecturer Richard Heydarian on the show, and he was saying that a defense alliance with Germany is going to be a huge, big plus for our country.
We have very solid defense cooperation with them already. I mean, except Germany, right? Because of their history, to put it mildly, they're very low profile. Unlike, I don't know, the French or some of the other European or Western countries who always make big announcements, they're always front. The Germans are very subtle, especially in defense diplomacy, because of the legacy of World War II, of course. And actually, Germany has played a very important role back in the day during the Aquino administration in terms of security sector reform. Germans coming in, helping us to build that kind of democratic military or democratized military, but not to mention, Germany is a manufacturing superpower. They have one of the best tanks in the world. They have huge experience in maritime security. And with Germans, hindi sila mahilig sa performative na pa-cute lang. They're very outcome-oriented people. Germans are very serious people. So I hope with this visit, hindi purong MOU lang. Yung purong mga memorandum of understanding, pero hindi mo alam kailan papasok. I think the Germans would not have invited Marcos Jr. for a state visit if they didn't mean business, because Germans mean business.
Well, up next, after a Senate panel, a House committee has also cited Pastor Apollo Kiboy in contempt for snubbing their hearings on SMNI's franchise. Details on that when we return. Keep it here on One News.
Welcome back. You're still watching The Big Story here on One News.
Senate President Zubiri and Senator Risa Ontiveros have signed a show cause order for Kingdom of Jesus Christ Pastor Apollo Kiboy. The said order asks Quiboloy to explain within 48 hours upon receipt of document why he should not be arrested after failing to attend Senate hearings on alleged abuses. Now, this latest development comes after Zubiri said that a show cause order must first be served. Let's listen to that.
Ang request ko kay Senator Risa, all she has to do is come up with another committee hearing really quickly, maybe today, maybe tomorrow or Monday, to order a show cause order, to give a show cause order. Kasi nasa Supreme Court ruling yan eh. We must exhaust all legal avenues, in other words, due process. Pag nag-show cause order si Ma'am Risa at hindi pa rin satisfactory yung explanation, sagot, tayo talaga pumunta dito, then it is ministerial on the part of the Senate to release the issue or the
Pero eto, Vice President Sara Duterte has broken her silence on the controversies currently being faced by Quiboloy. In a video message, VP Sara criticized the Senate's hearings on the pastor's alleged abuses, calling them biased and unfair.
Dinaranas ngayon ni Pastor Quiboloy ay isang pandarahas at hindi patas. Tila pinatawan na ng guilty verdict si Pastor Quiboloy kahit na nakabatay lamang ang pagdinig na ito sa mga paratang ng mga testigo na nagkukubli ng kanilang katauhan at hindi mapatunayan ang kredibilidad. Hindi biro ang mga pangyayari at paratang na ganito. Nararapat lamang na mabigyan ng patas na laban at sa tamang korte.
Pero mukhang sa House of Representatives din ay pinag-uusapan si Pastor Apollo Kiboy, pati na yung SMNI franchise. Let's get more details on that from Elaine Fulgencio. Elaine, what do you have for us?
Gretchen, two things. The House Legislative Franchises Committee has cited Pastor Apollo Kiboy in contempt. This was after he again refused to attend the panel's hearing into the alleged franchise violations by SMNI. Along with this, a bill that would revoke the franchise of SMNI has been passed at the committee level. Since December, Pastor Quiboloy has been absent from the hearings of the House Committee on Legislative Franchises, which is investigating alleged violations by SMNI regarding their franchise. As a result, Surigao del Sur Representative Johnny Pimentel moved to cite Quiboloy in contempt.
The fact that he has not been appearing in these hearings in this committee just shows that he has no respect for this committee. It just shows that he acts like God. He acts with impunity.
Last February, the House subpoenaed Quiboloy due to his apparent disregard for Congress. However, Abang Lingkod Party List Representative Joseph Stephen Paduano allowed Quiboloy's General Counsel to explain the pastor's absence from the hearing. There, Attorney Ferdinand Topacio responded that it's not Quiboloy but the honorary chairman of the network who should address the alleged violations of SMNI and Suarezag Media Corporation.
There are other officials of Suarezag and SMNI who are here, Your Honor.
In the same hearing, the House Committee also passed House Bill number 9710, which proposes to revoke or cancel SMNI's franchise. Among the violations by the network allegedly include spreading fake information and transferring the network to another company. However, SMNI's comp maintained their stance.
We still believe na walang violation sa prangkisa. Yung mga sinasabi nila sa Section 4 daw, yung sa fake news, sabi doon na, sabi ko nga, yung intentional or deliberate false information. Nagbebenta daw kami from Pastor Quiboloy na lipat sa ibang entity, walang pagbebenta. Kung hindi, ang nakalagay doon, there is only subscription. Iba yung sale sa subscription.
Gretchen, aside from contempt, Congressman Joseph Paduano mentioned to have Quiboloy arrested by the House Sergeant at Arms. Quiboloy's lawyer appealed to have a grace period to make the contempt and arrest order effective. Eventually, Quiboloy's camp was given until Friday for the leader to appear. Meanwhile, Congresswoman Franz Castro plans to invite former President Rodrigo Duterte, who is close to Quiboloy, to the SMNI franchise hearing. Gretchen?
Reporting to us from the House of Representatives, thank you so much for those updates, Elaine Fulgencio. At ito nga po ay isa pang tinitignan ng Senado ngayon, hindi lang yung issue with Pastor Apollo Kiboy, kundi yung supposed irregularities surrounding PCSO and lotto winners. Senator Rafi said in a radio interview that he received documents from the PCSO showing one bettor which appeared to have won 20 times in 1 month. Tulfo is leading the investigation into the alleged manipulation of PCSO's lotto game results. In response, PCSO General Manager Mel Robles had this to say.
Yeah, we gave him the list of the winners and the claimants, but he's referring to, I'm sure, the number of claimants. No? A person can be a claimant but not necessarily the winner. But it happens normally, regularly, ipon-ipunin sa sayang oras, sayang pasahe. So nangyayari yan even before my time. na pakiklaim na lang because ang importante rito yung ticket.
Yun ang paliwanag, no? Oo.
Pwede palang pwede palang ibang taong mag-claim.
Kaya yun, ngayon ko lang din nalaman yun. Kaya nga, ang sabi nga ni GM Mel Robles na dapat daw, kung mas maganda, kung pirmahan mo yung ticket,
Yeah.
Kumbaga, yun ang proof mo na sa'yo yun.
Right, but I'm also in, in such confusion. I was listening. Kung how is it possible that, one person or the same people that has won, different times, about 20 times,
20
would just
times.
contact, let's say, one person
Kaya nga
to claim their prize.
Isang baluarte?
Diba? Parang that was the explanation. He's saying these are multiple winners, but in
That's
the
correct.
event of, they would just ask someone to claim their prize for them on their behalf. Then so this person
Kasi
eventually
nga,
did.
transferable nga yung
Oo.
PCSO ticket and anyone with a valid ID can claim. Unless pinirmahan mo yung ticket. Oo.
Correct.
Pero ano nga ba yung likelihood na manalo ka 20 times in 1 month? That's the other scenario that we're talking about here. And this is what the PCSO General Manager had to say.
In the game of chance, everything is possible, no?
Yes.
But we haven't experienced that. Kasi you remember ang digit games, yung 2 digits lang, meron dyan mananalo, madalas talaga. Kasi 4,000 lang ang nito eh. 4,000 lang yung price nito and ang choices mo ng pipilian, maliit lang. So, meron talagang iba ginagawang career talaga yung digit games eh. Meron talaga. So, again, that is still allowed to bet every day. Wala naman kaming alam na 20 times nanalo. Not on our record.
Okay, so officially na wala sa kanilang record na nanalo na 20 times. So iba nga yung issue dito according to the general manager.
Right. And speaking of issues, this is not the first time that, the PCSO has been flagged, let's say, of, issues. Kung maalala natin, just a few weeks back, there was this edited photo of the lotto winner, which the PCSO admitted that it was edited to protect the identity of the winner. Pero syempre, ang daming nag-arise na speculations na pwede palang i-edit. So, how do we know if it's actually a real person or not?
Oh, that is the fight of today. I mean, trying to figure out what's real and what's not. I mean, with the photo of Kate
Middleton also last
yesterday,
night.
right?
Sure.
Issues were also raised on the veracity of the photo. But apart from the edited photo, there was also another issue encountered by the PCSO back in February of 2024. They drew flack on social media over a minor glitch during a live draw Tuesday of its 3D Suertes Lotto game. So kung alam niyo po yun, yung 3-digit Suertes Lotto game. The Lotto ball in the first of 3 draw machines dropped, prompting PCSO to implement what it described during the live program as alternate procedures. Siyempre, pag nakakita ka o nakakarinig ka ng mga ganun, lalo na kung tumaya ka, at every week ka tumataya, masakit sa loob talaga, no?
Right. Mapapaisip ka rin, something must not be going right. And again, the frequency of these, if these issues are really questioning the integrity of PCSO, and that's why
That's correct.
The senator is conducting all those investigations.
That's good. We're taking a look into it.
Right. Well, in other news, maybe it's time for all of us to take water conservation seriously as water levels in several dams continue to drop. These include the La Mesa Dam, which water level has fallen to 75.96 meters as of this morning. That's below its normal high of 80.15 meters. Other dams that saw a dip in water levels are Ambuklao and Binga, as well as San Roque, Pantabangan, Magat, and Caliraya. Now, also seeing a drop in water levels is Angat, which supplies over 90% of Metro Manila's potable water. As of today, its water level has gone down to 202.78 meters from 214 meters in the beginning of the year. This is also below its normal high level of 212 meters. Now, though the dam's water levels have yet to reach critical levels, Pagasa says it's possible that the drop could continue with the combined effects of El Nino and the dry season. Pagasa forecasts that Angat's water level could go down to 193 meters by the end of the month, closer to its 180-meter minimum operating level. Kapag-asa adds that despite their issuance of a La Nina Watch alert, the country should still closely monitor its water supply.
Yung trend niya talaga is bumababa dahil nga yun sa kakulangan ng mga pag-ulan within the watershed. Huwag muna nating asahan yun kasi matagal pang observation yun. So, sa ngayon siguro, kailangan na rin muna nating tipirin muna bago dumating yung La Nina kung mayroon man.
Well, up next, a new ride-hailing service is looking to enter the market soon. We'll be speaking with PeekUp CEO and founder Dave Almarinez about their launch and going against Grab Philippines. That and more when the big story returns. Keep it here on One News.
You're still watching the big story here on One News.
A new Filipino-designed ride-hailing service is scheduled to launch in the first quarter of 2024. Yes, this quarter. How exactly do they plan to introduce their service to the commuting public? Well, we'll find out from PeekUp CEO and founder Dave Almarinez, who is joining us on the big story tonight. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Gretchen and Risa, for
Welcome,
having me.
welcome. Thank you.
Well, you are going head-to-head against Grab Philippines in the midst of, all the traffic, taking on the heat for sure.
Yeah.
Unang-una, bakit po ito ang naisip ninyong business? I mean, it's not every day
Yes.
that you think of putting up your own app. And second to that, I mean, the challenges of logistics, the challenge of technology, and our transport woes.
Right. So I think let's start first with my personal story because it's, I think all of us, if not most of us, tried or been riding the ride-hailing, whether that be Philippines or elsewhere, in Southeast Asia probably. And so my personal experience when I was in a rush and I was waiting for my ride. And it took me 30 minutes and after of which I got canceled by the driver.
Okay,
So it makes me think. So I was not the only one who actually experienced that. There's so many of us, and very timely, I got also a call from my partner right now who's acting in the transport industry. Can we actually develop some similar? And that actually started the, and it inspires me of how we're going to solve those issues. And not to mention, when during surge or during the times of peak hours, you need the rides. Right?
So, yung frustration po
Yes.
ninyo.
But I'm sure the process of developing one, coming off from that frustration was not an easy route.
It is not easy. It is actually, how shall I put it? Too complex because there's so many components that you need to build. Not to mention regulatory, that you have to actually go through a lot of regulatory process. beyond that is, it's both the back end, front end, the customers, the drivers, and anything on it. So the whole 9 yards. That being said, you need to have kumbaga kailangan matibay ang dibdib mo. Malakas ang loob mo. Besides, not all the time, hindi naman pwede pera lang ang kailangan mo here, but also kailangan, you know what you're doing.
So, do you already have regulatory franchise approval at this point?
We're very fortunate to have that just recently, and we've gone through a lot of those process, what is required by LTFRB. And I think everybody went through the same process, and I think yun yung pinagmamalang. We're proud of what we have accomplished because
so ilan
of that.
pong driver ang inaasahan po natin sa PeekUp?
Yeah, for this year, we're targeting 27,000.
Oh, okay.
And if we reach that numbers, I think it will be substantial, good market share, so we can be having adequacy for us to actually serve our public.
When we say PeekUp, anong services would you offer? Do you have cars? Do you have motorcycles, deliveries, also for food?
So right now we're focusing on cars because we think that space, yung area na yun are really badly needed because you can see a lot of motorcycles right now. But I think yung one main focus that we need to focus is yung cars right now.
Well, Dave, parang hindi lang kayo ang papasok sa segment na ito, no? Kasi nabanggit sa amin ng angkas na magkakaroon na ng angcars. And then we also got to talk to another franchisee bringing naman a model from another country dito para magbibidding kayo dun sa presyo.
That's right.
Parang di pa yata na-approve yung kanila.
I think our advantage, we're 100% Filipino. So what we have built is actually pusong Pinoy, and we know and fully understand what the Pinoy really needed and what they really want. No, and more than that, from the get-go, we started for the cars. So yun talaga yung focus namin. And from that, I think we'll be able to solve a lot of complex issues and problema na kinakaharap ng ating public. And I think kung marami, katulad na nabanggit mo, it is good for the public. Ang winner dito ay yung riding public because they have better choices.
And your service will be based here in Metro Manila?
Currently, we will launch soon in Metro Manila and nearby provinces, namely Laguna. We have Cavite, Rizal, and Bulacan. But eventually, gearing towards end of the year, our target is really to be nationwide.
Okay. I'm sure before you launched the app, you also took a look at the problems within the current model of the existing businesses or the TNVS available. Ano po yung nakikita po ninyo na holes that you can plug and what would be different? Because you also mentioned that you are emphasizing on transparency and fairness with your rates.
Right. So, nabuo ang PeekUp because of all those na mga hinaing for both the driver side and the passenger side. Unahin natin yung pricing. So, we'll be able to provide an affordable ride. But more importantly, we need to actually have them experience a good ride. No, we can afford to have a ride, but also we need to have experience na maganda experience na so we can share those experiences. So we're really setting the experience of our technology. And not to mention, we must provide adequate supply whenever there's needed, especially during the time of demand.
Para wala na magka-cancel.
Yes, and we'll be able to determine all those through our technology that we have built na minimize yung cancels, just like what happened to me personally and happens to me.
How exactly do you minimize that? Apart from adding supply into the equation, how do you minimize cancellation?
Well, una sa lahat, we actually make sure that we provide prioritization and incentivize the right incentives for our partners, that they really must accept that ride for the right reasons, and eliminating and reducing the risk of canceling the rides.
So ano pong incentive yun?
Una po, pag mas maganda ang service, we focus on the service. And the more na maganda ang service nila, we incentivize them. Rather than just like a bidding. So hindi naman parang, di ba ang pagsaserve, pag nagbigay tayo ng magandang service, ang tip, hindi mo kailangan turuan
Kusa.
mag-tip, magkukusa ang
Ano
tao.
po yung may points po sila? May additional earnings?
Example naman, pag nagustuhan mo, example, if the ride, your first ride, kung akong driver, if I have 2, 3 successive excellent rides, then I get incentivized. Beyond doon sa mga common referral programs or bonuses that we are giving for our newly acquired drivers that we are currently building right now. So beyond that, I think the most important, nagkakatalo pa rin to sa service. So our main focus is really incentivizing of our drivers. If they go there, especially sa malalayo, ayaw nilang puntahan dahil tingin nila wala silang ibang makukuha after that, we'll give more incentives to those. So people like me, if I go medyo malayo, tatanggapin nila yung ride.
Okay.
Sa mga drivers, let's say the ratio, are you getting mostly male drivers pa rin? Kasi Gretchen, interesado mag-apply daw.
Sayang mag-drive. Mahaba pa pasensya ko.
We are, we're
May mga babae ba na nag-apply?
In fact, you'll be surprised, marami pong mga ladies
There's
na
women
nag-apply.
applying.
And we're pushing for, we're an advocate for gender equality. So, hindi lang for male-dominating space ito, kailangan for women rin.
Now, is there any, I guess, again, incentive on your part for women to apply to this? Or is it, just the same encouraging women?
Well, because of equality, so we actually show equality, but that's a good
Input.
input that
to
we
be
can
more
explore.
inclusive, di ba?
Sure.
To be more inclusive.
Yes, we would happy to explore that.
Magkano po ang base fare?
Ang lahat pare-parehas ang base fare.
Pare-parehas lang with
Pare-parehas
others.
lang.
Okay.
No? And this is actually regulated.
Right.
Ang nagkakatalo lang siya based on sa strategy on how you actually implement your marketing strategy, whether you give discounts or you put more incentives to the drivers or even to our passengers. So doon na siya nagkakatalo. It's a matter of the strategy.
Pero wala po kayong delivery ng goods. It's just really commuters.
That's part of our roadmap, but at the moment, hindi pa natin yon tinitingnan.
Okay. In terms of percentage share, because naalala ko at some point, yung kalaban po ay nagtaas ng kanilang, parang binabaan yung makukuha o take home ng driver. I remember this distinctly because there was a point in time where the riders, pag matagal mo silang pinahintay, kunwari, sa pick-up to sa pagkain, pag matagal mo silang pinahintay, parang mini-message ako na, sorry po, na lang, cancel na lang po kayo kasi maliit lang kikitain ko.
Yes.
Minsan may ganun eh. Paano yung profit sharing po dyan?
To simplify everything, hindi mo kailangan so many rides para there's a financially, mathematics don't lie. If you have, let's say, 12 rides, you'll be able to substantially earn versus the current. Makikita mo. So if you work harder, mas i-increase pa. So doon pa lang sa mathematics na that we figured out, hindi mo kailangan gawin yon. But going further in incentivizing everybody, I think it's not about only incentives, but from the onboarding itself. We are actually signing up bonuses for all our new drivers. Hindi pa sila nag-uumpisa, the moment na nag-activate sila, may signing bonus na kagad sila. Whatever they earn are theirs until yung signing bonus na yon maubos na ibinigay namin. So PeekUp are actually serious of investing to our drivers. So on the premise that we want them to really serve our passengers with what we call 5-star service. Paano natin magawa yon? They need to also experience that 5-star service, starting from the onboarding experience ng ating mga driver partners. And when we say partners, we really mean partners. And we listen to them kasi nabuo the entire technology because of them and also being sa pasahero. So, kailangan may experience ng driver mismo na maganda yung experience nila. And naniniwala kami, if they experience that, they will actually provide that same experience to our passengers kasi they'll be the face of PeekUp.
Right. You're about to launch in a few days, yan ba? Tama ba yan?
That's correct. Currently, at the moment, we're onboarding our drivers and our partners. And in the next few days, it will be our user app will be available sa stores.
Sa App Store tsaka sa
App
iOS.
Store and iOS.
Android.
Yes, that's correct. And it will be available. And I hope you, to be exact, it's March 16. And I hope they
That's
will
already
like
this
it.
week.
And our promise is for them to have a great experience with PeekUp.
Okay, bilang huling katanungan, syempre proud na proud po kami dahil may all-Filipino app na tayo. Kaya naman pala. Can you give us some insight on the process of developing the technology for this and what this means for other aspiring entrepreneurs who want to get into technology and building businesses with it?
The first thing is, if you have a great idea, just go for it. And you need the best people. You may not have the best people right now, but sooner or later you'll get them. Malakas lang dapat ang loob mo, and you're like an architecture of your home. So you have your own design, your home ideas, and you study also and do your research. And once all those components all together, but plus adequate money, so you can actually...
But you are not from IT, am I correct?
I am not.
Okay, so what did you have to do?
Ako? So I actually look for who can build for me.
Partners.
The partners that are actually
So, all
experts
Filipino?
in ITs.
All
That are
Filipino?
Filipino, yes. We have also foreign consultants as well that actually, so we will picture out how this product, technology will be a global standard. So you need to actually be on that category of a global level. So hindi lang pwedeng Filipino, all Filipino. You need to have international
You need to see what other
mindset.
people are doing, yes.
So we build a growth culture, a mindset of multicultural mindset, but it's 100% Filipino.
Very, very excited. For one, I hope this brings fares down.
Yeah, it will.
It will be good.
As far as
There
PeekUp
would
is
be,
concerned.
yes. Like better availability of rides, of cars,
Less
for the commuters.
cancellation.
Right.
And service at the heart of PeekUp. That's for sure. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Good luck, and we look forward. March 16 will be the launch of the new TNBS app called PeekUp. We have on the show tonight CEO and founder Dave Almarinez.
And before we go, time now for our big pictures tonight. Everyone has probably seen this now. It's the video of Apo Wangod grabbing Piolo Pascual's private part, which has been trending on social media. Now, in the video, Piolo can be seen or was seen visiting the nation's oldest tattoo artist in Buscalan. While talking, Wangod grabbed Piolo's genitals. Now, both Apo Wangod and Piolo just burst out laughing during that moment, and a crowd of people off camera also laughed and just cheered on them. This, however, has been causing debate among netizens of whether or not this was or is actually harassment. But it's good to point out that among Wangod's longtime tradition is to grab male visitors' private parts. Yes, totoo daw talaga yan.
Part ng tradisyon nila.
Right.
Yan.
In February, President Bongbong Marcos honored Apo Wangod for her contributions to the Philippine traditional arts. She was bestowed with the Outstanding Government Workers of 2023 and the Presidential Medal of Merit Awards.
Well, 100 na daw siya. And YOLO na daw. You only live once.
That's Filipino. Pero yung mga those that I've known that have visited Apo Wangod,
oh my God, that's quite surprising.
But the explanation varies. I heard one saying Apo Wangod is checking talaga kung lalaki. That's for her to find out. Kasi I guess physically, baka
malabo ng mata, tinitignan yung anong gender na kausap
check ko
niya,
lang.
diba?
No.
We don't want to excuse, diba?
Right.
We don't want to excuse that naman. But we're just bringing it has caused debate online about the propriety of what she's doing. Some say it's harassment, others naman are saying, naku, nakakatawa. Tumawa naman si Piolo.
Parang okay lang naman kay Piolo.
Oo. Pero sana huwag mangyari yan sa mga natin, sa TNVS natin. Naku, no talaga yan. No. Okay. That's clear.
And that's the show tonight. We are One News, all sides, all the time.
Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.